I'm going on the record to share that I take personal offense that Beyonce did not win Album of the Year for her Renaissance album at the 2023 Grammy Awards. Personal offense. But what I also am reflecting on is that Beyonce's experience with music's biggest night also has a lot to do with you and your career. So I thought I'd go live to talk about the best artists of our time. The fact that she did not win Album of the Year at the 2023 Grammy Awards, and how that is just a perpetuation of a longstanding history of not giving Black women their things. And the truth is that, I don't even know that I need to do this disclaimer because I feel like everybody that knows me knows what's up. So that I am a big Beyonce fan. I am a stan. I believe that Beyonce is the hardest working woman in music. There's just nobody that is better than her at her job, and she really is a premier artist of our life, of our lifetime. But I think what Beyonce has experienced at the Grammys year after year after year is putting out seminal, soul-bearing, culture-moving music and not getting accolades, not being recognized, not being honored for her expertise by people who, judge and rate music. And I think that experience is something that I think a lot of Black women are very familiar with, that experience of doing really good work, maybe bearing your soul, being vulnerable, being open at work, and having that openness, that vulnerability, that exceptional work be passed over and be poo-pooed for mediocre work that doesn't even move the culture forward in any significant way. And, what I've been thinking about and reflecting on since I learned that Beyonce did not win the 2023 Album of the Year award from the Grammys is that even the biggest artists of our time, right? Even the most amazing vocalist of our time cannot divorce herself from the pain of being a Black woman at work. And I feel like I have a couple choices. I can either be really depressed by that and really disillusioned by that and just be like, well, heck, what the heck am I supposed to do? If Beyonce is struggling with racism and discrimination and dismissiveness at work, what can I do, right? I can have that perspective, but instead I'm choosing to have the perspective of what can I learn from the Grammys dismissal of Beyonce year after year after year and apply to my own career. So in today's live, I'm going to talk to you about what Beyonce not winning the Album of the Year, the 2023 Grammys, has to do with your career and kind of some lessons I'm learning from that. So I think that one lesson that I'm learning, and I think that Beyonce's life is a testament to this, is that, in her work, she is partnering, she is collaborating, she's borrowing from, the culture, what the culture needs. She's, partnering with expert artists, just really doing some beautiful and amazing work with other artists. And so, I think one of the things that that she teaches me again and again is to collaborate, to partner, to not do things alone. And in fact, your best work can come at a high level of collaboration. I think that is so critical. And I think that, Beyonce shows us again and again that partnership and collaboration are key to us building careers that matter, building careers that are impactful. And even though that collaboration and that recognition doesn't always get you the top award of the night, what it does Beyonce is the most awarded Grammy winner ever, right? So it does absolutely get her, you know, more wins, not the big wins, not in the big four, but certainly, you know, the largest accumulation of wins, right? So she definitely is the most awarded Grammy winner ever. And I think that like speaks to the value and impact of collaboration, right? And I think that's something that we can take away from her. I think another thing that, you know, I'm reflecting on, you know, as a professional, as a career woman, is that, you know, Beyonce lives a very private life, right? Like, you know, in terms of her children, in terms of, you know, what she does in her free time, you know, she don't follow nobody on Instagram. She doesn't have a public TikTok, right? Like she's keeping some things private while like maintaining, you know, a global, right, presence as an artist. She puts her heart and soul and, you know, her artistry in her work, in the music, if you will, but she does keep some things to, you know, to herself, right? And I think that's a good lesson for professional women just in general. I think that there's so much value in like being who you are, right? Showing up authentically in your work, being vulnerable in your work. Like that's important. You have to be able to be vulnerable, to connect with other people, to build meaningful relationships at work. And relationships absolutely matter, right? Like they matter. And I think that we can't just disregard them or pretend they don't exist. They matter. We have to leverage them. They're critical. And, right, I think that you can keep something for yourself, right? Like if Beyonce taught us nothing, she taught us that you don't have to respond to every clap back, that you can respond cleverly, that you can pick your battles. I mean, it was Beyonce who had the boycott Beyonce. Like she put out a t-shirt that said boycott Beyonce, right? Like she did that work. And so I think that there's something so beautiful about picking your battles, about being intentional, about, you know, not being dismayed when bullies come and when people try to disturb you or throw you off your square. Like, there's so much of work can be hard. It can be challenging. It can be daunting. It can be disruptive. It can be frustrating. It can be invigorating, but it can be annoying, right? And I think that Beyonce graciously accepting 3 or 4 Grammys that she won last night, but not you know, being, you know, cynical when she didn't get album of the year is a testament to like, you know, like the gratitude it takes to like do good work and be recognized for that work, but also not giving everything to your work, not bearing your soul in a way that depletes you because, you know, you might not get the ultimate reward, right, in your work. You may not be recognized in the way that maybe you should. So I think that is really important. And I think that another thing that I think that, you know, Beyonce and not winning album of the year in your career, one of the things that came up for me is that one of the things that Beyonce has been very adamant about is that she's going to manage her career the way she wants to, right? She broke away from her father's management. You know, she developed her own production company. You know, she puts out an album, doesn't release any visuals. You know, she puts out a tour, has, you know, all these levels of like, you know, you got to do this, got to do that to get access. And I think that the Grammys punish her for that. Like, I think that the system in which the Grammy Awards album of the year doesn't reward a Black woman with agency. And I think that maybe she knows that, but she still does the work to not let it destroy her, right? And I think that so often what I see from women in general and Black women in particular is that at work, we don't have boundaries, right? We don't have boundaries. We're like, yeah, y'all do that and y'all do that and y'all volunteer for this and pick me and, you know, whatever. We're kind of like just putting ourselves out there and exhausting ourselves and giving our employers literally everything and sort of not having boundaries about what we expect from those same employers in return. And so, you know, I hope that if Beyonce teaches you nothing, it's to have some boundaries. It's to be able to say no. And yes, saying no and having boundaries sometimes comes with some consequences, right? It may come with the consequence that you are not, you know, getting the accolade of the year, the employee of the year award, right? But you'll be better for it. Your mental health will be better for it. You know, you may be the overall winner, even if you're not getting the shiny award at the top, right? Your home life will be better because you are not clamoring for approval approval. You are not clamoring for attention. You are not clamoring for acknowledgement. You are doing good work. You are doing work for your community. You are being paid well, right? Beyonce is being paid very well for her work. She's not out here a struggling artist. She's doing good work that matters to the communities that she cares about. And even when she's not sort of being recognized by the establishment, that doesn't deter her from like doing work that moves the culture forward, right? And so, you know, I think Beyonce teaches me so much, like all the time, you know, and I think that, you know, the whole camp of Beyonce is overrated, and, you know, those people just are fools, right? Don't know any better. And that's unfortunate. But I think that if they were really a study of excellence, right? Someone who's a real study of excellence, someone who is actually committed, to like studying greatness, studying excellence, studying mastery, you know, being intentional about like, you know, seeing visionaries, like they're going to appreciate the artistry of Beyonce. And I find that so much of her work and her approach to work is complementary to me in my own career, right? Like I'm trying to do stuff in excellence. I'm trying to, you know, be at the top of my game in my industry. I'm, you know, giving a lot to my work, you know, being intentional about my work, but holding some things back for me, right? You know, I'm not, you know, I have boundaries in my career. There's some things that I'm not going to do. There's some stages that I'm not going to go on. There's, you know, there are things that I'm not going to do. And I think that I learned so much from watching Beyonce, just do things well. And I hope that this live was helpful for you, whether you're a Beyonce fan, you know, Beyonce's biggest fan or stan like me, or if you're kind of a casual Beyonce listener. I certainly hope that you are a listener and a watcher of excellence, and that, you know, if maybe you are also disappointed that Beyonce didn't win Album of the Year at the 2023 Grammys, that you can take something away from that and think about how it might apply to your own career, that maybe you're not getting the recognition that you deserve, that you're not getting the awards that you deserve, but that doesn't mean that you, one, can't be paid well for your work, that two, you can't be recognized as an absolute expert and culture maker by communities that you care about, and that also you can have boundaries and still win at work, right? That is so critical. And I want more for Black women at work. I want more for Beyonce at work. But until we get there, I want you to know that success and winning and excellence are still available to you in your career. And if you find yourself struggling to find ways to arrive at excellence in your career, if you're like, I want to be the Beyonce of accounting, right? I want to be the Beyonce of, you know, education. I want to be the Beyonce of insert X industry here. If you're looking for strategies to really thrive in your work while protecting your own personal boundaries, right? I invite you into mentorship. And I'm really excited to serve women who kind of feel like Beyonce might have felt at the 2023 Grammys, that they've given me, you know, accolades here and there. They pat me on my back. They say, you know, I'm the greatest employee that they've ever had, but I don't get the big prize. I'm not getting the big recognition. I'm not being seen by my peers in the way that I know matters, you know, or by the academy, by the establishment in the way that I know matters. If that's where you find yourself right now in your career, I just invite you into mentorship. I'm accepting new mentees into both my Mentor Me Mastermind and my Mentor Me Accelerator program. No need for you to try to figure out which program is best for you. You can just go ahead and apply to either program right on my website. We'll get on a call, kind of identify how I can best support you at this stage in your career. I'm so looking forward to talking with you about your career development. And if on the side you want to talk a little bit of Beyonce, we can do that too. But I just believe that there's so much that we can learn from the greatest artists of our time about work, right? When anybody talks about Beyonce, they talk about her work ethic. They talk about her creativity. They talk about her vision, and the fact that she's a visionary, right? In music and dance and artistry, right? And I want people to talk about you and your work in that same way. Like, I want them to know that when they want great work done in your industry, that they're going to come to you, right? And so if you're looking to be the Beyonce of your industry, if you're looking to be, you know, someone who's known for their expertise, that's known to move the work forward, that drives excellence, like if that's the kind of career that you're looking to build, and make a lot of money while doing it, right? Because Beyonce this is not the Mother Teresa route of career career development, right? This is about driving results in your career. And so if that's something that you are committed to, then I invite you into mentorship. I'm excited to help you. You can go right to my website at mentor-me.org to schedule a call with me. If this conversation was helpful or supportive to you, I'd love for you to comment. If you're watching this replay on YouTube, I'd love for you to hop in my DMs. If you watch this live and you're like, yes, Ashley, I love when you bring pop culture and career together, because it's really helpful for me to kind of think about my career in an everyday way. If this live was helpful for you to think about how Beyonce not winning album of the year kind of ties into your work, then I want to hear from you. Hop in those DMs. Let me know that you enjoyed the live. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.